Chosen one. There are pains that cannot be seen in exams, nor understood by those around you. They are persistent discomforts that have no physical cause, but that you feel deeply. These pains do not arise by chance. They carry a meaning that goes beyond the flesh. It is as if God were signaling something important, drawing your attention through your own body to something spiritual. Sometimes you try to explain it to others, but no one understands. They say it is stress, that you need to relax, except that deep down, you feel it is not just that. There is an invisible pressure, an unexplained weariness, a sadness that has no name. And all of this may be linked to the mission you carry, to the sensitivity that God placed in you from the beginning. If you have been experiencing this kind of pain, know that it is not a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it may be an indication that your soul is picking up what the natural world has not yet revealed. Your body becomes a kind of alarm, warning that something within you is being moved, healed, molded. And this is part of the path of those who have been set apart. Today you will understand 7 ways in which pains manifest in the life of the chosen one, and what they are trying to show you. They are messages from above, signs that need to be understood with the heart. Stay with me until the end, and if this content already makes sense to you, subscribe to the channel and walk with us on this journey of discovery and strengthening. There are pains that do not show up in exams, nor have a medical explanation, but they are there, present in the body as if they were screaming inside. They are not imaginary. They are real. You feel a tightness in the chest that appears out of nowhere, a pressure on the shoulders, tension in the back, or even a causeless fatigue. All of this affects you deeply. These discomforts arise at specific moments. It may be when you are about to make an important decision or going through a period of spiritual silence. The pain appears without warning and insists on remaining. Even with rest, proper nutrition, and even prayer, it seems that it does not want to go away. It is as if something internal were asking for urgent attention. For the chosen one, the body becomes more sensitive. It does not respond only to physical things, but also to what is spiritual. And that is where you often feel pains that others do not understand. It is not just any malaise. It is your spirit moving, trying to show you that something within you is changing. This kind of pain can arise when you are moving away from what God desires for your life. Sometimes it is not even sin. It is distraction. It is excess. It is a path that is not yours. The body reacts with weariness, as if saying, "Return to the center." And you feel it, even without knowing how to explain it in words. On other occasions, the pain comes when you are being shaped. God is preparing something new, and this preparation stirs everything up. The body suffers this impact as a sign, as if it were saying, "You are being worked on inside. Hold firm, because something greater is coming." The pain becomes part of the process. The preparation of the chosen one does not always come with tranquility. Many times it comes with sleepless nights, hidden crying, and this discomfort that seems not to pass. What others call anxiety or stress, you feel as something different, as if your body were translating what your spirit has not yet fully understood. The body is the first to respond to the movements of heaven in the life of someone set apart. This may seem strange, but it is real. God uses the body as a channel of alert. And when you feel this pain that no one understands, perhaps it is time to stop and ask, what is trying to be born in me at this moment? Many ignore these signs. They take medicine, force themselves to continue, pretend that everything is fine. But the pain persists, because it does not want to be silenced. It wants to be understood. It is there to call you to a deeper place. A place of listening, of realignment, and of inner transformation. The spirit speaks, and when the soul is overburdened, the body becomes the voice. You may feel like crying for no reason. You may feel a weight in your chest even without being sad, or become tired just by being in a place. All of this can be spiritual. They are signs that something inside you is being activated. Do not think this is weakness. It is sensitivity. It is part of your calling. God does not allow these pains to make you suffer, but to prepare you. You are being tuned to carry something greater, and the first place where this manifests is within you. Respect this process. There is something powerful being generated, even if you still cannot see it. The body of the chosen one does not react like that of just anyone. It perceives much more than the rational mind can interpret. In certain environments, you feel something strange in the air. A weight, a restlessness, a discomfort that has no explanation. They are physical sensations that arise out of nowhere, but say a lot. Your body is alerting you. When something is spiritually misaligned around you, the body feels it. It can be a sudden headache, tension in the neck, or a mild malaise that appears as soon as you enter an environment. This is not fussiness. It is spiritual sensitivity. It is as if the body were saying, "This place is not doing you good." This sensitivity is a gift that is not always understood. Some think it is exaggeration, that you are being dramatic. But those who live this know. When you enter a spiritually heavy place, your body responds. You feel drained, heavy, uncomfortable. And many times, you do not even need words to perceive that something there is out of order. It also happens with people. There are encounters that make you feel light and renewed, but there are others that leave you exhausted, as if you had lost energy just by talking. This is more common than it seems. The body picks up what the spirit perceives, and this happens mainly with those who carry a greater mission. This bodily reading needs to be respected. Ignoring these signs is like ignoring an alarm. If the body is warning, it is because something needs to be reviewed. Perhaps it is an environment you need to leave, a conversation that should not continue, or an activity that is draining you without you realizing it. At certain moments, the body even seems to get sick because of this. The back pain, the dizziness, the upset stomach. All of it may be saying, you need to protect yourself. And most of the time, it is not physical. It is your spirit trying to defend itself from something invisible. That is why the signs come so strong and repetitive. The body does not lie. And when God calls you to live with more sensitivity, He also gives you tools to discern. You may not understand everything clearly, but you know when something is wrong. This feeling is a kind of silent wisdom. And the more you learn to listen, the easier it becomes to identify what is misaligned. It is not just intuition. It is spiritual discernment acting through the body. It is a way God protects you even before the problem happens. That is why sometimes you feel that you need to leave. Step out of a conversation circle. Turn off the phone. The body gives the signal, and when you obey, you avoid much wear and tear. Over time, the chosen one learns to trust this warning, learns not to force their presence in places that generate discomfort, learns to respect themselves as someone who has been set apart. Because those who carry light also need to know when and where they should not remain. The body warns, and those who listen walk with more wisdom. If you feel that your body has been speaking to you in these moments, do not ignore it. It is at the service of your mission, and the more attentive you are to the signs, the lighter and clearer the path will be. The body then becomes not only a temple but also a faithful ally, warning when it is time to stop, to leave, or to protect yourself. The chosen one has a sensitive heart, and therefore tends to take in more than they should. Without realizing it, they carry problems that are not theirs, getting involved in pains that were not placed by God upon their shoulders. This excessive empathy ends up generating real pains in the body, and even while trying to help, the weight becomes more than they can bear. One of the most affected regions is the upper back. When emotional or spiritual weight accumulates, the body responds with tension, pain, or even locking up. This is a warning. The body is saying, "You are trying to sustain something that did not come from me." This kind of pain does not go away with a massage. It is only resolved with surrender. How many times have you tried to carry the family's problems, hold everything together at work, help everyone around you, even while feeling exhausted? The chosen one tends to do this without complaining. But there comes a time when the body speaks louder. And when that happens, it is not to punish. It is to redirect. The pain in these cases is a reminder that you were not called to save the world alone. There are burdens that need to be laid at God's feet. You can intercede, love, advise, but you cannot take upon yourself the weight of others' salvation. That role is not yours, and your body knows this even before your mind admits it. Sometimes, the attempt to help turns into control. The desire to solve everything becomes anxiety, and anxiety turns into physical symptoms. The body starts to scream, "Let go!" But often, with the best of intentions, you insist on holding what should already have been surrendered in prayer. Learning to say no is also part of spiritual life. The chosen one needs to recognize their limits, to understand that stepping away from certain battles is not a lack of love. In some situations, stepping back is healing, and that healing begins when the body starts to feel relieved. When the pain begins to lessen, it is a sign that the burden has been placed in the right place. Neck pain may come from the demands you place on yourself. The weight on the shoulders may be the reflection of worries about the future that you are trying to control. Lower back pain may be a consequence of carrying others' emotions. Each part of the body tries to show that limits are being exceeded and that this is costing you dearly. Releasing this weight begins with a simple gesture, sincere prayer. Talking to God like someone who is tired, saying, "Lord, I can't handle this. Take it into your hands." It seems simple, but it is powerful. Heaven does not despise a heart that recognizes its limits, and the body responds to this surrender with rest. The chosen one needs to understand that the gift of sensitivity is not a calling to exhaustion. You were set apart to be a channel of blessings, not a depository of pain. Sensitivity should lead you to intercession, not overload. It is possible to love and care without hurting yourself inside. From the moment you decide to surrender these weights, something changes. The body begins to relax, the mind becomes clear, the spirit finds relief. God did not call you to live in constant pain. He wants you to understand that there are crosses that are yours and others that need to be left on the altar, and that is spiritual maturity. Not all pain is the result of fatigue or emotional buildup. Some arise as a clear sign that something is out of place on the spiritual path. The body, in this case, acts as a brake. It prevents advancement in directions that seem good, but are not aligned with the purpose that God has set apart for you. There are moments when everything is going well. Opportunities appear, doors open, but you feel an internal resistance, an inexplicable tightness, pain in the feet or legs, extreme fatigue. Even without physical effort, the body seems locked. In these cases, the pain may be saying, "Wait." That direction was not given by God. Chosen ones are trained to be guided by peace, and when that peace is lost, the body feels it. The pains begin to appear as a sign of blockage. They do not come as punishment, but as protection. They are silent ways for God to prevent you from entering places that could hurt you spiritually or emotionally. It is difficult to accept that something that seems right, logical, and even good may not be God's plan. But the body perceives what the spirit has already picked up. And even if the mind insists, the pains increase. It is as if heaven were saying, "You are running without direction. Stop, listen, wait for my voice." Pain in the legs, lack of energy, and a feeling of stagnation may mean that you are trying to follow a path where you were not sent. God blocks it. And this blockage does not come with visible walls, but with internal signs. Your body tries to protect you from unnecessary wear and tear, and often it has more discernment than your mind. In these moments, the most important thing is to stop and listen. Stop chasing results, controlling time, comparing yourself to others. Listen to what the Holy Spirit is trying to say through the discomforts that the body expresses. Hear what the pain is trying to keep you from ignoring. Silence becomes fundamental. It is in silence that you will be able to interpret the signs. Physical pain connects with spiritual pain. And if you continue to ignore this break, you may end up reaping consequences that could have been avoided with a simple act of listening. The body does not want punishment. It wants realignment. When physical pain arises without explanation, and at the same time you feel insecurity, doubts, and restlessness, it is time to review the path. It may be a choice, an alliance, a project, something that seemed right, but that heaven did not release. The body feels what the spirit has already understood and manifests it as a physical blockage. Chosen one, do not fear stopping when you feel this kind of pain. The break is often the greatest act of God's care for your life. He does not want you to get lost along the way. He would rather make you stop with a discomfort now than see you broken further ahead. Obedience at this moment is what will ensure that you arrive at the right place, at the right time. The body of the chosen one is not just flesh and bone. It is also a reflection of everything that happens inside the heart. When you hold on to resentments, fears, or anger for a long time, that does not disappear. It stays there, hidden, waiting for an opening to manifest itself. And many times, the place through which these emotions come out is the body. It feels what the heart was not able to release. Old unresolved hurts usually lodge in the chest area. The chosen one feels a tightness, a pressure, as if the air were stuck. It is not a lack of oxygen. It is an excess of memories. The soul tries to move on, but the weight of what was experienced prevents it. The body then tries to say, "You need to let this go." And as long as there is no release, the pain insists on staying. Fear also has its place. It hides in the stomach. Constant butterflies, the sensation of nausea without cause, the gastritis that appears in moments of tension. The body is warning you that something needs to be faced. Fear can no longer remain hidden. It needs to be exposed, acknowledged, and placed before God. Otherwise, it will continue creating discomfort where there should be peace. Anger, in turn, usually rises to the neck. The muscles tense up, pains arise, stiffness, even headaches. The chosen one does not always realize they are angry because they learn to swallow emotions instead of dealing with them. But the body knows, and it begins to speak through these physical symptoms. It does not shout, it weighs. Besides these stored emotions, there is another factor that deeply affects the body of the chosen one: spiritual warfare. When you approach moments of prayer, important decisions, or growth experiences, the body reacts. A different kind of fatigue arises, a spiritual laziness, even unusual sleepiness. This is not normal. It is resistance. In those moments, it is essential to resist. Pray with more firmness. Declare out loud that your life is guarded, that you do not belong to darkness, that no pain will stop you. It is in this confrontation that the spiritual fire is strengthened. The body is only translating what is happening in the invisible world, and it needs your courage to get through this moment. The chosen one, who understands this connection between emotions, spirit, and body, begins to live with more wisdom. They learn to listen to the signs without fear. They recognize when it is time to forgive, when they need to face fear, when it is necessary to rest, and when they should rise in prayer. The body, spirit, and soul walk together. And when they are aligned, nothing can stop the one who has been set apart by God. There are pains that do not come to destroy, but to announce. The body of the chosen one is sensitive to deep spiritual changes, and many of these changes come with clear signs. Before a new phase begins, the body may react with fatigue, tension, irregular sleep, or restlessness. These discomforts are the announcement that something is about to be born within you. Just as a pregnant woman's body prepares with contractions before the birth of a child, the spiritual body of the chosen one manifests when a new time is being activated. The pains are not a sign that something is wrong. They are part of the expansion process. An inner growth is happening, and the body is adjusting for this advance. During these periods, you may feel physical pains without a clear clinical reason. Pains in the back, joints, legs, or even in the chest. Sensations of pressure in the head or a fatigue that does not go away with sleep are also common. These symptoms arise as a way of signaling that the old is leaving to make room for the new that is coming. This process can generate fear because it is uncomfortable to walk through something that is not yet fully understood. But if you pay attention to what you feel, you will notice that despite the pain, there is also a quiet expectation. It is as if your spirit were saying, "Something new is coming, get ready." This pain is preparation, not punishment. The chosen one, who is in spiritual transition, goes through a moment of realignment. Things that once seemed good begin to lose their meaning. Relationships change. Priorities are transformed. Everything around you begins to be reconfigured. And the body feels all of this. It becomes the field where these internal changes are physically reflected. At this moment, silence becomes important. The search for inner peace intensifies. The body needs more rest, fewer distractions, more presence. It is the time when heaven works internally, removing what no longer serves, healing what was hidden, and aligning your life for something greater. The discomfort is temporary, but the result will be permanent. These pains also function as a warning for you not to resist the process. The more you try to maintain control, the more the body suffers. The mind wants to keep things as they are, but the spirit wants to move forward. And the body enters this conflict, manifesting it in the form of pains, tensions, strange sensations. The secret is to surrender to what God is doing. Instead of fighting against these pains, you can ask, "What is being generated in me now?" This question makes room for the Holy Spirit to show you the purpose of this discomfort, and little by little, you realize that it is not just about going through a process, but about being born again into a new season of your calling. This new time requires a stronger structure, a cleaner heart, a more stable mind. That is why the process hurts, but it also heals, strengthens, and transforms. Pain is the herald of advancement. And for the chosen one, there is no pain without purpose. Everything works together. Everything prepares. Everything contributes to the fulfillment of the mission. When the new finally arrives, you look back and understand. Each discomfort was necessary. Each sleepless night, Each strange sensation in the body, each silent tear. It was all a sign, not of weakness, but of spiritual gestation. You were being prepared to give birth to something great. And now, what once hurt transforms into strength. Chosen one, the pains you feel are not random. They have a voice. They teach you, protect you, and call you back to the center of your mission. When you begin to listen to your body with spiritual attention, everything changes. What was once meaningless suffering becomes direction. Each discomfort becomes a sign. Each pain becomes an invitation to alignment, healing, and growth. God does not give us a body by chance. He uses it as a channel of communication when the mind gets distracted and the heart closes. Your body feels what your spirit already knows. If this message made sense to you, subscribe to the channel and continue this journey with me. I am Miguel, and here you will never walk alone. We are together, deciphering what heaven is saying through every detail of your walk.